So the pickups in here are out of a 63 335. Yes, I did cannibalize it. I still have the guitar, and eventually these will be put back into the 335. But they're low output. They're very low output PAFs, and they have a very rich sound. And it's mostly the top end that you really look for. You know, the top end being, you want it to really kind of roll off around, it's not to overly get, you know, on the 31 band EQ, but if it rolls off around 2K to 5K and you can like dig into the high notes, it's all about the high notes, you know, when you go from the, you know, and you want that, you don't want too much of a ping on that or it becomes too harsh. And it's like, you can always tell that the guitars right away, they're going to be too harsh. So having the PAFs in here really kind of warm the whole thing up. And the whole make or break string for me is the plain G, because if this still has some bottom end to it, and it sounds like it has some like, you know, meat and some sound around it, then you really have a good set of pickups and a good guitar. If this plain G gets really thin, then the rest of them are going to get really just bright. And it's like, I've had some guitars that have had, you know, great sounding register and then sound horrible. So you want that balance all the way through, and it's really important. And the other trick that we do with these Les Pauls is we wrap the strings around the tailpiece like so, and it's the old Billy Gibbons and Jimmy Page did it. And basically what you're trying to do is achieve less angle over the bridge. So A, you break less strings, and B, you know, you can still get the sustain by cranking your tailpiece down all the way.
Do you feel that you do get more transference to the body by doing it?
I do. And I noticed the feel of the guitar. I use 11 to 52, so okay. 11 to 52 is a pretty stout string and tuned up normal. So it's like if you crank it down and have that really extreme angle, it's going to be, you know, it's going to feel like you're. So it actually bending. Feels a little looser because there's the angle coming off the saddles is less. The tension here is a little less, and thus it kind of carries over to. I mean, you can kind of bend and not feel like you're, you know, testing your manhood every day. I don't understand those guys who, I use 12s. No, I use 13s. I use 14s. No, you know, Stevie used 14s, and then he cut a cable off a telephone pole and then ratcheted up that. It's like, really? How bad do you want your, you know, tendinitis to be in about 20 years? It's like, it's not a test of manhood. I've seen Billy Gibbons, honestly, with a set of 8s smoke everybody. It's like that's the thing. If it works for you, don't read it in a book. Don't take my word for it. If you don't like 1152s, use 10s, you know, right. And try not to get down to 8s because you'll definitely notice the difference in the sound. But if you can compensate in other ways, then all you know, it's fine. You know, to me, it's like it's not a test of manhood. It's a kind of a, for me, it's just whatever you're comfortable with, and that really is the most important thing.